Austin, can you give a blessing, please?
Lord, we come together today with common purpose of doing good for the Cherokee people and the nation that we all love. And we ask that you guide us, you lead us, and you show us how to navigate rough waters and enjoy calm waters. In your name, we pray together. Amen.
Amen. Sheila, would you do roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Rex Jordan.
Here.
E.O. Smith. Keith Austin. Harley Buzzard. Joe Bird. Julia Coates. Sean Crittenden. Joe Deere. Mike Dobbins. Kanan Duncan. Daryl Legg. Wes Snowfire. Dora Petzkowski. Mike Shambaugh. Mary Bakershaw. Janice Taylor. Victoria Vasquez. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Need approval of the minutes from July the 12th meeting.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second? All in favor? Reports, Management Resources, Mr. David Moore.
Good afternoon, councilors. Mr. Moore is taking some well-deserved annual leave today. He'll be back in the office tomorrow. I apologize he couldn't be here. I'll be happy to take any questions and see if I can answer them or get you answers once he returns.
Do have a question? Go ahead.
Hey, Todd. Hey, that Catoosa Tag Agency area over there, lately, probably in the last couple of weeks, I don't know what happened if somebody hit one of the boulders, but we've had trucks and we've had all kinds of stuff inside that area. If you can send one of David's guys over there to get maybe put up medium barriers instead of those rocks to lock that off.
Yeah.
I mean, because they've parked all the way. Now there's trash everywhere. Just FYI. But he's doing a good job with that mowing crew that's at JW Sam. They've cleaned that up really nice. So that's all I got. Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions for David? Yes.
I just want to know, to Catoosa Tag Agency, it says awaiting to award. What are we awaiting?
I believe last month I reported that bids came back much higher than what we had originally anticipated. And so we're awaiting confirmation from the Treasurer's Office of, and I think, I'm trying to remember now, I think we've got that squared away in the 2022 budget, and we're trying to see if we can award that early and get started on some of the site work and the civil work, including some of the infrastructure that we're going to have to do for the city of Tulsa. There is a requirement that any renovation that covers that property, we have to replace the city's water infrastructure that goes across the property. And so that's added some hundreds of thousands of dollars of additional costs. And so we may be able to get that started early and get that prep work done. So that's what we're trying to see if we can do some early package release on it and using the funds that we have available now before the 2022 budget is approved. So.
Any other questions? Sean?
Hey, Todd, can you give a quick update on how the PPE plant's going, also the meat processing? And I know what we're going through, and but just any update you can give us on that?
Yes, sir. PPE facility in Stillwell, we are training about 16 employees, and we've converted some of those into full-time employees now. So we've started with program participants, either on the Restore or the Hope program. We actually have a PPE facility manager, and we've hired staff for the Hulbert facility as well. We're using the Stillwell area for training, so they can all work together collectively, learning the systems, and then also understanding what the routine maintenance and things they have to do are. So Hulbert, we should have up and online very soon. We're waiting on the install of the cameras at Stillwell. That's one of the requirements that we have to complete to have the NIOSH and FDA certification on the facility. Once we get done with that, we'll do a terminal clean in the building, meaning that everything gets wiped down and cleaned off. And then we'll have FDA and NIOSH come in and do the inspection. So hopefully we're a few weeks away from making that happen. I can't remember how many cameras are in the facility, but it was a bunch. And then Hobart will be right behind that. So things are going well. We have actually quite a few full-time employees at that site now. Meat processing, we did our final punch walkthrough 2 weeks ago. There were just a few little things here and there that we found that needed to be addressed on the construction. One of the last pieces we had to do was installing of the septic system, and it's a new design. It's a 2-tank system that I don't want to get into too many details, but it's pretty innovative and new technology. And so we worked with ODEQ and our environmental health team to review that and make sure it was going to be appropriate for that facility. We are looking at scheduling, or we have scheduled training on the equipment that's been installed, everything from cutters and grinders and stuffers and all the other equipment at the end of August. And we've identified 3 or 4 people we'd like to hire, and so we'll be working on extending offers to those individuals. Once again, we'll be offering training opportunities for anybody that'd like to come in and do training as well inside that facility to convert to long-term employment. So we're getting really close on that one. I think the last piece that we had was the septic and process and handling of the runoff on that facility.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited about both of those places for obvious reasons. And, man, I enjoy your work on the voiceover for the Netflix series Manifest. Anyone seen that? I think Todd does the voiceover for the main character. Listen to it, and you'll agree. But it's
The main character is a woman. I just
yeah. But really similar, if not Todd in low. But thank you for your time. Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions?
If I could, real quick, I forgot to mention something to Councilor Crittenden. So on the meat processing facility, we're actually in the final stages of determining what our pricing schedules and everything will be. And then we'll be ready to publish that and then begin taking appointments. We will be actually taking some animals and running it through a training process over several days so that our teams are comfortable with all the equipment and how everything should work, tagging systems, inventory, and rolling that all the way through the system. So we'll be doing that in the first week in September. And then we are looking at some discounts and incentives for citizens, employees, speakers, and veterans. And so those will be the 4 classes of discounts or incentives that we'll be offering.
Did you get a set of scales set up out there?
Not yet. That scale system is actually in the other building, and there's still some other piece of equipment and stuff in the building back behind the facility that they should be rolling in this week.
Mary?
Todd, could you update us about our mask and our mask production and what quality they are, how strong, where they're shipping to, et cetera?
So I'm wearing one of the 3-ply surgical masks, and we've handed those out. And I was hoping I was going to have some of our demo N95s for you as well. We've started testing those machines, getting production up and running on the N95s. But I don't want to produce too many of those because with the 3-ply surgical mask, we can offer it as a non-medical grade mask, which is a higher level of protection than a cloth-based mask would be. But we really can't institute it inside our healthcare operations or in a clinical setting. Once we get that NIOSH certification and FDA certification, then we'll be able to put the stamp on there that it's met the requirements and the rigor for use inside of a hospital or clinical setting. Personally, I enjoy our mask much better. My wife, who's a nurse practitioner, had commented the other day, I gave her a bundle. And she used that just, going out into the community and other places, and she said, your masks are more comfortable than the others, and the nose bridges actually stay in place. And she said most of them, if you mask down on it, the nose bridge pops right back out. Ours will actually stay in place. Same quality will go for the N95s. So we're trying to make it as comfortable to wear, so that it will not be a deterrent for people to wear masks, and ensuring that our healthcare workers are not only protected, but they're also comfortable when they wear the mask as well.
Who are we providing those masks to? And will we make a special mask for school-age children, pediatrics?
That is one of the things we're taking a look at now of resizing. And so that's one of the things our teams are working on, is learning all the machines and all the adjustments that they can make to the design of the mask, including stamps and where the nose bridge is aligned and all that other fun stuff. So we are exploring that opportunity to make pediatric or smaller size face masks, especially for the N95 as well. So we've got 4 N95s stationed in Stillwell now. We'll be placing the 5th one, and then we're also placing our N99 machine in the facility in the coming days and weeks. I'm sorry, what was the other question?
How many are we producing daily, and where are they going?
So right now, because we're just in testing mode, we don't want to be wasteful. So what we're doing is we're producing those. We've been giving out to community organizations, churches, our employees, offering those to CMB and other locations to try and disseminate that out through our communities.
Very good, thank you.
Victoria?
I have one back about on the meat processing plant. Will you be instituting any kind of waiting list for employees and the people that get the discount?
Yeah, so that's the one thing that we'll be working on once we get our pricing list finalized. We'll publish that and then also begin taking a waiting list for anybody that may be interested in utilizing the facility.
Thank you.
I don't know if there's been any conversation about it, but how about, have there been any thought about like deer processing for deer season for the Cherokee citizens doing deer? That'd be pretty cool.
That is in the facility. So we designed that entire facility to process beef, pork, venison, and buffalo. So we actually engineered that whole building to actually address the storage of buffalo. There is a special side and operation that we have to do to separate seasonal game such as deer. And so we have a separate storage and operation for them that we had to incorporate into the facility. But yes, we will definitely be doing deer.
Yeah, well, I know pigs, pigs can't be kept in, feral pigs can't be in the same place that beef is and things like that. But yeah, I bet people would really enjoy that if we could do that for our citizens. That'd be a big deal. And
Yeah.
especially if, I don't know how big you could get if you wanted to do the sticks and all that stuff. I mean, that's some good stuff.
Yeah.
So, just saying.
And, we've had a couple of council members do a tour out there, but at some point in time, I'd like to extend that offer to have the rest of you walk through it. We've got the coolers on and the freezers on. The equipment is getting set in place, so it actually starts to feel more like an actual facility that will be operational. And so, I'd like to extend that offer and figure out sometime that we could possibly do another tour and let you guys go through and see that.
Yeah, I know that there's a place toward Afton that they fund, just through deer season, they fund everything for the year. Just what is brought in for deer season is astronomical, and they make enough money to go through the rest of for a year, just from deer season. So could be lucrative and for us too.
Yeah, we consulted with a Cherokee that's also a producer. He's not a full processor, but he does produce other products. And we did a walkthrough with him the other day, and he asked about our ability to process deer. And he said, you guys will probably do 400 in their first year alone. So we're expecting to be busy in that market.
Joe?
Hey, Todd, a follow-up on the mask. Some teachers are asking the elementary level if there's a way we could actually produce the clear ones so the kids can see their lips because of the speaking. Is that a possibility?
Not with the particular machines that we have, but, this is the one comment that I made to somebody the other day. I said, as Cherokees, we're pretty intelligent, and so it was our plan to go through and reverse engineer all of these machines and learn how to make them better and faster. We have purchased some for our employees that are hard of hearing, so their coworkers could wear the see-through mask and have a conversation with them. It's pretty simple as far as the design and construction of it. We may be able to do that, but we wouldn't actually be able to do it with the machines that we have now. We'd have to figure out some new way to do that, but that might be something we'd be willing to take a look at.
Yeah, or even if we purchase enough for some of the elementaries around and speakers when they're doing stuff, so.
I don't recall how many we purchased initially. It's whenever we were at the height in fall of last year, we purchased quite a few, several thousand see-through masks.
Okay, that was just a request from some of the
Yeah,
teachers, so.
we
I'll
may
get with
have
you
some.
after the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Carly?
Todd, is our meat processing plant, is it going to be USDA certified?
So for the first roughly 18 months or so, let us run with it. We're planning on running it as a custom processing facility. Some of the other tribes that have started their meat processing facility, they've elected to just remain as a custom processing facility. So that means that, Counselor, what you bring in, we have to turn around and give back to you. I can't sell any of your product to Counselor Crittenden. But that whole building was designed for us to scale and grow to a USDA inspected facility. We've actually have to include an office and other resources in the facility, and it's actually in there. So when we're ready to take that step, we would be able to, but for, at least for the first 18 months or so, we plan on running it as a custom processing facility.
Okay, see, so once it's USDA certified, and then if we had a beef operation, then we could sell back to our casinos.
We could either sell back to casinos or elder nutrition programs or food distribution to supplement and augment some of the resources we have out there.
Okay. The other question I've got is on our PPE plants. How many employees is the Hulbert and the Stillwell plant going to employ?
So once we get fully operational and we get to the point where we're generating, we're projecting between 30 and 35
Okay.
on a single shift. If we get busy enough and we have to run 3 shifts, we could be between 90 and 100.
Is this going to be a for-profit organization?
Yes,
It will
yeah.
be. Okay,
yeah,
that was my next question. How are we going to fund the employees in that plant?
Yeah.
Is this through C&E, through their corporate office, or is this Cherokee Nation owned?
So at this point, we're operating it underneath Cherokee Nation,
Okay.
but it is our intention that we transition this
Be a
over
business.
to the businesses.
Be a
Yeah.
business.
Once we get it up and we're operational, we get all the inspections done, and we feel like we've got all the pieces in place, then we'd transition this to a C&B
So
facility.
hopefully it's self-sufficient or
Absolutely.
even for-profit.
Yeah, it should generate some revenue.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Chief of Staff, like some of these folks here, it's my last meeting, and as we're talking about the meat processing, I wanted to bring up to you something to think about. The state has a program, I may have mentioned it to you before, called Hunters Against Hunger, that they run through the Department of Wildlife, where if you kill a deer or whatever animal it is, you can donate it to certain meat processing plants, and folks can come get that free of charge. I know, like myself, I kill deer every year. I'm not big on eating them, though, so I usually go out and hand it out to different folks. But I could really see that being beneficial, because there's lots of folks out there like me that either don't eat a lot of it, or they just have too much for them and their family. And there's lots of elders out there, or folks that are disabled that aren't able to go out and kill a deer, but grew up eating it and love it. And so I'd love to see something like that eventually. I don't know if it's something that we could implement in our new revamped hunting and fishing program. But it's something Lane Kendall's very familiar with. He's actually one that brought it up to me. So, but I think that'd be an awesome deal if we could do something like that.
Thank you. I love the idea, and I'm familiar with the program. And I think we could probably work on something like that to help address the need. That's the whole reason we're doing this, is to provide protein alternatives to Cherokee's diets, and that's another way we can assist, so.
Any other questions for Todd? Thank you, Todd. Next up's Real Estate Services, Ginger Reeves.
Good afternoon. I think you have my report. If you have any questions, I will be happy to address them.
Any questions for Ginger? Yes, Mary.
Hi, Ginger.
Hi.
Ginger, I have a question in your report. It's something I don't understand, and I was hoping you could explain it to me. And that is number 2, under number 2. It says last will and testament. 2 last will and testaments were prepared and endorsed. 1 was a district court approval, and 3 additional interviews were taken. I understand last will and testaments prepared. Do you mean when it says endorsed, that means they just signed them?
Yes, before a notary, 2 regular last will and testaments. But according to the 47 Act, if you're full blood, you have to have it approved by a district court, state district court judge.
Now, I want you to repeat that, because why do you have to have it a district court approval?
According to the 47 Act, we still haven't changed that piece of it. Yes, any full blood must have their signature on their last will and testament taken before a district court judge for approval.
Is that not discrimination against our own people?
It's the 1947 Act.
Can council change that?
It would take an act of Congress.
It would
to
take an
change
act of
it. Well,
Congress.
the same
My
way that
goodness,
we-
guys, this is wrong. I won't be here in the future, but I do hope you all attack this one. I'm
was
glad I
hoping-
asked. Is
I
there
was hoping that
anything,
was the next thing that we could do after we did the First Amendment to the 47 Act, but, you know, it is.
so since I'm half, you wouldn't need my signature.
No.
I wouldn't have to go in front of a district judge. But the poor full blood is required to. That's
Yes.
discrimination among our own people, and I'm really disappointed to learn this.
Mm-hmm.
I hope in the future we'll tell people how to prepare to change this. We
Me
need
too.
that corrected.
Me too.
Okay, thank you. What do?
I was just going to mention that for the last, I don't know, maybe 4, 5, 6 years, Ginger, haven't you, along with administration and our lobbying firm in D.C., have been working on getting the 1947 Act changed, and progress has happened on that. I see Todd shaking his head, so.
Of course, it was in
it's-
2018, it was, yes.
Yeah, so it's not like it's a new thing, then the council's sitting back not doing anything. I just wanted to make that clear.
Correct. It took the blood quantum out initially on December 31st, 2018. And so I'm sure there's steps that we need to take to look more in depth in the 47 Act, that being one of them.
Actually, that 47 Act has been discussed and debated going back 20 years. I mean, I remember when I first was on the council back in '87, that was brought up, and we discussed this at Intertribal, and I think we made a really strong effort to improve or amend some of it, like, you know, Councilor Duncan said. So we have made some progress, but it's still there. So it does need to be addressed. And I think Ginger and her staff have done really a good job in trying to promote and move it forward. So good job, Ginger.
Well, we've worked over the past 15 years and was very successful in 2018. And then, you know, there are other things that we need to look at, including that.
And with the support of the lady that's in the office now, Department of Interior, there's probably no other better time than under Deb Holland to move this thing forward again. So, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Of course, this applies to the 5 tribes. That's,
Yes.
okay.
Julia?
No, I wanted to echo what Councilor Byrd just said. I remember teaching about this 20 years ago, you know, to employees of the Cherokee Nation. And then I remember my first term on council after 2007, we were working on it then, you know. So this has been just yeah, a real, a real bone in our side, you know, whatever, for a long, long time. It's, thank you.
Victoria?
Ginger, I would just like a follow-up question with you offline before you leave
Okay.
about what we talked about earlier.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Ginger? Think you done a good job.
Thank you.
Next up will be Secretary of Natural Resources and Environmental Programs, Chad Harshall.
Good afternoon. For those of you folks who, this is your last council day, I just wanted you to know it's been a privilege and a pleasure presenting to this body over the years, so I wish you all the best of luck. I believe you have a copy of the environmental programs report if there's any specific questions on that piece of it.
Any questions? Go ahead.
I just want to say, a lot of excited people around Sequoia County when you announced that there's going to be that deer hunt down there to draw in for a lot of veterans and kids and everything. So when do you think it'll be, what's more information will come out?
We anticipate launching the Gadoogie Portal application piece tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
We expect it to be open for about 3 weeks, and so there's going to be multiple draw hunts available that include youth, elder, veteran, and at-large, out-of-state. We're focusing right now on about 14 hunts, which covers a big chunk of the normal hunting season, beginning in October through the end of December. So that's what the programming that we have available now. Again, 14 different draw hunts that we plan to launch tomorrow. So there should be some communications coming out about accessing that through the Gadoogie Portal. All of the selections are going to be, selected through a randomizer. We've been working with IT on that part of it, and then also with Salesforce to make those applications in connection to the Gadoogie Portal. So it's a pretty big program that we're rolling out. We're really excited. I think I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the efforts of Lane Kendall in our office. He's the manager of wildlife conservation. He's been the primary lead on this project and frankly all of our hunting and fishing efforts for a while now and going forward. So it's been an exciting and very big effort to get to where we're at, but we do anticipate releasing that tomorrow, and there should be communications made available through our normal channels advising people to go to the Gadoogie Portal and how to access this.
That's good. They go there and get that big bug, then bring it up there to Tahlequah and get it processed.
There we go.
Thank you.
Mary, you're up.
Thank you, Chad, for the last time. I've only been asking 4 years. Any news or updates about the hunting and fishing licenses for our at-large citizens in the state or out of the state? Any news?
We are continuing that conversation. It is of course my goal, as it always has been, to incorporate that the at-large component more robustly in a longer-term compact, and that is a priority, and that is what we're working towards. I would point out that I forgot to mention this on the draw hunts. Those draw hunts are going to be available to everyone in the state of Oklahoma that has a compact hunting and fishing license. And then we are looking at a special date for out-of-state at-large. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear, that this isn't limited to the 14 counties. It's the entire state of Oklahoma, those individuals participating in our compact licenses.
Well, it's a start. But this is my last meeting, and I've appreciated you listening repeatedly, and council as well. But I do hope that comes to fruition in the near future for our people. And thank you for your service to us, and I appreciate you've been so kind to me throughout the last 4 years. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Any other questions? You got anything else?
That's all I have today.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Done a good job. Appreciate it. Old business none pending, new business none pending. The next meeting's Monday, September 13th at 2 o'clock. I need one more motion. Got a motion and a second. We are adjourned.